For more on all this, I'm joined by Bloomberg Quicktake's Jason Kelly. Jason, obviously, Tom Brady, an incredible athlete, but he's always been more business-minded, quote unquote, than most other athletes. What do you think he's going to be doing next?
Well, Emily, first of all, it's great to talk to you. I mean, he's going to be spending more time with his family and his NFTs, what anyone would do right now. But listen, this is a guy who, as you say, has had deep business interests from the beginning. He has studied Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, where he won so many Super Bowls. He's had a business mind. You mentioned FTX. I jokingly talked about NFTs, but this is a company, Autograph.io, that you're familiar with, that he's heavily invested in. He is working with them closely. He's got an apparel line. Listen, he's old by football terms. He's 44 years old, but he's got a long road ahead of him to do a lot of interesting things in business, that's for sure.
I will never forget watching Brady win that first Super Bowl in college in Boston and the crowds in the middle of those winter streets in Boston. Talk to us about how, athletes in the businesses that they're involved in is changing. I mean, you've talked to LeBron, you've talked to A-Rod, and they've all expanded these sort of massive business empires on the back end of their careers.
Yeah, and I think what's so interesting, Emily, is that they're starting much earlier. This isn't a moment where Tom Brady is retiring and saying, okay, what am I going to do? As we've talked about, he's got some existing businesses now, and so I think that's what's different from 10, 20, certainly 30 years ago when you would play, you'd focus on playing. Even Michael Jordan, to some extent, really only focused on playing. Everything he did in business afterwards, really came when he hung up his sneakers, his very valuable sneaker deal, of course. But I think the other interesting thing is that these guys and women, you look at a Serena Williams, you look at a Megan Rapinoe, these are folks who are taking a role as investors, not just endorsers, as owners. And I think that is a pivotal difference. And that's why you see the wealth creation that you see with a LeBron or an A-Rod. And I think that that's just a fundamentally different thing than we've seen in the past.
What about on the lifestyle side? I mean, there's so much has been made of the avocado smoothies, and
yep.
He's made that known.
Yeah, and I think it's a great point, because I think what Brady has really tapped into, LeBron very similarly as well, is that it's not just about me being an athlete. It's about me being a man. It's about me being a person. It's about fashion. It's about media. It's about content. It's about technology. When you think about the NFTs, there are a lot of ties back to athletic performance when you think about something like TB12, but it's not just about how do you get stronger by lifting weights. It's what are you eating? When are you sleeping? How are you tracking everything? And you look at apparel, and these are the sorts of things that are the makings of an empire for sure.
So, if you could predict where's he going next? I mean, and how much will crypto play a role in that future?
I think the technology side, the crypto side, will be huge. You spoke with the guy at FTX. Maybe he will be on that flag football team. That would be great, I think, for them. But, on a more serious note, look at somebody like Steve Young, former Hall of Famer, right there in your backyard. He's a very high-level senior working partner at a private equity firm. Could you see Tom Brady go and join and be an active venture capital investor? Absolutely. I mean, those are the sorts of jobs that these guys are willing to take on, not just as someone who shows up and shakes hands and takes some pictures, but someone who actually gets into deals. And he's already doing that to some extent. So could we see a Brady-led or a Brady participating venture capital firm? I wouldn't bet against it.